We are talking with Jordan Sharp, previewing the NBA playoffs here on SBR Forum Videos. We just got done talking about the East and then the West, so now we're going to look at the possible value that we might find in the first round. Now, the matchups have not been set yet. The lines are not out because today is Thursday, so the last game still has to be played. But just in general, Jordan Sharp, which teams do you think might be a bit overvalued or undervalued in the first round this year?
I have two that are going to be gold mines this year,
Really?
Pete. Starting off in the East, I really think that if the Knicks win tonight, obviously, or the 76ers lose, the Knicks will be matched up against the Miami Heat. And although those are both, traditionally very overvalued teams this year, I think the Knicks, Game 3, when it gets back to Madison Square Garden, even if they're down 0-2, the Knicks have not seen this kind of magnitude of a game in over a decade. The Madison Square Garden is going to be a madhouse. I really think the Knicks are going to give the Heat a lot of trouble in the first round because they match up with them so well. The Knicks front court with Amari Stoudemire and Tyson Chandler, assuming both of those guys are playing well and playing healthy in Amari's case, they destroy the Heat's front court. Chris Bosh and Joel Anthony will have no chance against those guys. Carmelo cancels out LeBron in this situation, and it really comes down to the Knicks' ability to make shots. I think the Knicks are incredible value against the Heat if and does that happens when they're playing at home. My second one is going to be the 4-5 matchup in the West between the Clippers and the Grizzlies. I think the Clippers made a huge tactical error sitting Chris Paul the other night and pretty much giving the Grizzlies home court advantage in that playoffs. I've been preaching it for this whole season. I think the Clippers have been way overvalued all season. I think they aren't as good as the people put them out to be. I don't like Vinny Del Negro as a coach for them. And I think the Grizzlies are just a much better, well-rounded team. And I think the Grizzlies are just going to blow them out in this series. I don't even think it's going to be a series. I think the Grizzlies, even if they're favored only by a couple points or even underdogs, I think you have to just unload on those lines when they come out.
Some bold picks here by Jordan Sharp. Jordan, I hear what you're saying, but the thing that makes me nervous about betting against the Clippers is that they have Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. I mean, Chris Paul is awesome and Blake Griffin's a beast. How do you bet against that?
Here's how you do it, Pete. It's all about coaching in the playoffs.
Really?
Being the best at your position or being the best athlete on the floor doesn't mean as much in the postseason as it does in the regular season. You're absolutely right. Blake Griffin and Chris Paul are outstanding together. But the problem with the Clippers is Vinny Del Negro. Their offensive sets are absolutely horrible. If you watch the Clippers this season, they have 3 offensive sets. They run pick and roll, they run ISO for Blake Griffin, and they run ISO for Chris Paul. Blake Griffin, as good as he is and as good of a player as he is going to be in this league in the coming years, he is not yet a true back-to-the-basket low-post threat. And Chris Paul, as long as you play good defense on him, he is not going to kill you. As long as you contest his shots, he is going to be looking to pass. I think the Grizzlies are a much better coach team, and even though they may not have the talent level, I think as much as you said that Chris Paul and Blake Griffin have been playing outstanding, I think you can make the argument that Rudy Gay and Marc Gasol have been playing just as good this season. Remember, Marc Gasol was an all-star this year. He is going to give DeAndre Jordan fits in this series.
Jordan Sharp, I think you've convinced me again. I think I'm going to bet the Grizzlies on the series price in that game, be looking for value with individual games. But again, we don't know what the prices are going to be, so it's very hard to handicap before knowing the odds, but you can approximate them. Jordan, thanks so much for all this great info. We will catch up with you again for round 2, okay?
Thanks, Pete. I'll see you round 2, bud.